The Eurobond that was taken in 2013. Our investigation is very clear on this. A man called Jacob Juma, the late, he was my friend, came to visit me. And he tells me, Jimmy, there's something fishy going on here.
Some 3-4 weeks ago, Jacob called me and told me his life was in serious danger. He was aware of a plot to eliminate him. He was aware and knew those who had hatched the plot. If you go to his social wall, you'll find it.
And he said, the president stood up when he said he's taking the Eurobond.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me now turn to our debut Eurobond, a total issue of $2 billion due in 2024. That cash is now deposited in our Kenyan accounts. I want to assure you that the government will spend this money prudently.
And he said, because he's taking the Eurobond, they are not going to borrow domestically.
By accessing these external funds, we will reduce government borrowing from the domestic markets.
But when I look at the quarterly reports from the National Treasury, it seems they still borrow domestically and they are not recording what happened to the Eurobond. So we started asking some questions. Unfortunately, we got the opposition leader, Raila Amolo Odinga at the time, to write a letter to the Treasury to ask where are these Eurobonds? The 2 billion you say you borrowed, what has happened to it? On a bit of a scare for the then Minister of Finance called Rotich, he released documentation and he showed the following. They managed to get $2 billion. Then they showed us that $650 million went to pay a syndicated loan of Mwai Kibaki. Then $350 went directly to the consolidated fund. He said, very good work, asante sana. Then we said, where's the second one? Show us the same for this $1 billion in September. They said, oh, the second one, it also came. We said, show us this amount of 1 billion, how it came to the Treasury. They sent and put up a SWIFT transfer, but that SWIFT transfer did not show us where that money went. It was completely blackened out. Apart from the top, where you see it leaving an account at JP Morgan Chase, the rest was completely blackened out. We said, where is it? They never, ever showed us.
Henry Rotich promised a blow-by-blow account on how this money was spent. He did an about turn. He never did it.
What questions have been asked to Henry Rotich and he has not answered? To the best of my knowledge, he has given... I have a copy of what was posted on the website, answering every question.
The question we are asking Uhuru Kenyatta, what did that money go to do in that other account which does not belong to the government of Kenya? And the other question is what project did that money do?
The allegations of misappropriation angered the president, who issued a warning.
Let me reflect on the Eurobond. If you make accusations and fail to prove them, you too will also be held accountable. The sword of justice cuts both ways.
The issue about Eurobond money being stolen, my friend, is utter nonsense. There are some things that are beyond even believability. You sincerely think, Hussein, the government of Kenya can collude with the government of the United States to steal public money from Kenya? I mean, really, surely, this is nonsense. You cannot, my friend, and that is what I'm telling you. All the books are open on this matter of Eurobond. And let me tell you, Hussein, on national television, I can look Kenyans in the eye and tell them the allegations about the loss of Eurobond is nonsense.
The Auditor General found that none of the funds could be traced to specific development projects.
If a ministry says we spent so much on development, we do not take it on the basis that they've confirmed they've spent. We need to corroborate, counter, check. Let them give us all the records and we sort out all the issues.
Na huyu anasema nataka kwenda interrogate Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Guy, anyway.
Now, the Auditor General in his report further goes to say that all these amounts cannot be attached to not even one project. That money, nobody has provided evidence that it entered this country. Now, that is just one Eurobond of $2 billion. They subsequently took another 5. Please take note.
Meanwhile, the government of Kenya has secured yet another Eurobond, this one worth 210 billion Kenya shillings.
Kenya has secured about 202 billion shillings in a fresh Eurobond issue.
The floating of a new $1.5 billion Eurobond at the center of this newly found optimism.
They subsequently took another 7 in syndicated loans we cannot find anywhere in our budget and in our books.
Kenya right now hakuna pesa. Do you know that?
Na tunaambia ati Kenya hakuna pesa. Bana pesa iko. Kama wewe uko hapa, najua uko na bibi, uko na mtoto, muka asubuhi. Enda tafute kazi.
Now, Kenyans, are we going to continually accept that we are going to become slaves? Because that is what is happening here. Debt has now been used by our own people in power and, of course, in collaboration with others outside this land to ensure that we are slaves to them in perpetuity. The poverty rates are increasing by the day because of one item. And my proposal has been very clear. What is not in our laws, what does not exist in our constitution, is not liable to the sovereign. We are not and should not pay it. And I can tell you with all the sums we have paid, my fellow Kenyans, we do not owe any debt to anybody. We do not. In fact, if we remove that debt from our books, I can tell you have a reduction of taxation and you'll have money in your pockets like you've never seen before.